Hey there, everybody. Welcome into this episode here of the Payoff Pitch. It's the Wednesday edition here. That's right. I said it right. Wednesday. That's how we pronounce and say Wednesday around here.
Wednesday.
We're gonna give you guys some winning bets today. How's it going there, Hockey Squirrel?
Hey, not too bad. Did pretty well in hockey last night, finishing off with a 2-0. Felt pretty good actually to finally have some games that were meaningful, but we're not here to talk about hockey. We're here for baseball. And I think there's some quite interesting spots today. Some really, at least one really nice spot for plus money that I like that I'll share, and a couple just solid plays due to pitching and whatnot. So, a few things I like.
Yep, now I'm with you. There's some good spots today. I'm looking to hopefully cash a bet that I've given out the first 2 days, but we've gotten rained out, so hopefully we can cash this NRFI on today's show for
Is
everybody
that the
today.
Guardians?
White Sox and the Guardians. That's right,
I
guys. We
keep
got that
opening
comment.
up the book.
I
I
know.
just keep seeing Shane Bieber, Shane Bieber. I'm like, how many times is the guy gonna pitch?
Give it to me. Give it to me. Guys, we got that comment section up. Boy, it's been great interacting with you guys every single day and watching the comments flow through. You guys got some obviously great knowledge yourself on baseball, so keep those coming and hit that like button too if you're liking the content and you're liking those bets. As we're always sponsored by BetUS, great sports book out there. They've got the best sign up promos of all these sports books. Anybody out there, nobody's better than BetUS. If you want to check them out, you can go ahead and grab a little link here in this video description. Go explore that sports book. You won't be disappointed. With that being said, let's just jump right into the second inning here. We call it around the bases. We'll give you guys a couple games that we like. I'm going to go ahead. I'll kick it off here first. I
Sure.
already tweeted this play out yesterday or last night. I'm doing that Brewers team total over 4.5 runs at minus 104. This will be music to everybody's ears. You ready for it? Mitch Keller day. Boy, Mitch Keller. We've obviously had a lot of success fading this guy over the past couple seasons and already this season, so we'll just look to obviously play that angle here earlier on. It cashed in his only start versus the Brewers in 2021, where they were able to get 6 runs over the course of that game. Look, this guy's obviously hit hard. I mean, they gave up 9 hits that day, only 2 runs against Mitch Keller, but 9 hits. They just weren't quite getting that timely hit. That's not going to happen today. But even if, like I said, they cashed it getting 6 runs in 2021, and the Brewers' offense is starting to show some life. They would have gotten over 5+ runs in their last 3 games. They're at home. They're feeling good. Again, they're cashing this bet. I stayed away from Mitch Keller and his hit total. If you've been around here for long enough, you know how we've been cashing over 4.5 hits. We've been paying minus 140, minus 145. I do not have that bet today because the books raised it to over 5.5 at plus 130, and that was just enough to go ahead and put me off. It's not the bet that we've been cashing 10 out of the last 12 times in 2021 in the first 2 games in 2022. So hopefully, maybe he ends the game with 5 hits and the Brewers do some damage, and we can see over 4.5 hits in his next start. But I'm going to go ahead and lay off that bet. It's been so good to us. It's painful to lay off of it. I am going to do that and just stick with that team total. What's a game that's on your mind there, Squirrel?
Yeah. When I opened up the book today, I kind of was taking a look, and again, as we already kind of talked about a little bit, that rematch after rematch of the Cleveland Guardians and the White Sox here. So I'm going to skip the game one, as again, it's been priced minus 140, I think, for the last 3 days if it ever gets played. But I'm looking at game number two with Tristan McKenzie against Jimmy Lambert. And if you remember, I think Jimmy Lambert was the guy that came in for Giolito in the rotation. And I think I made a play against him and ended up winning that one about a week ago or so. Tristan McKenzie, though, with really some great stuff, at least as what I saw last year. He's kind of the beanpole pitcher, right? He's kind of got those long, lanky arms and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will take the Cleveland Guardians. I think they're only minus 120, and they've been putting up runs. They're at home, and again, going against somebody who should be Lucas Giolito. That's not something I'm in favor of doing at a minus 120 price.
I guess I see that game a little bit different than you, and we talked about this game a little bit briefly on Monday because you guys remember it was supposed to be Dallas Keuchel versus McKenzie, and then they switched it out to Bieber. I'm actually on the White Sox and I'm kind of pending, I need to see lineups, but I kind of like maybe the White Sox team total over, right? Well, hey, I was at the game last season when Tristan McKenzie was on the mound. They chased him in the second inning. His control was terrible. That was actually the game that sent him down to the minors. And to your point, I mean, you're right in terms of him playing better towards the back half of 2021. He seemed to find something down in the minors that he brought back to them. But I'm going to kind of wait for that game, see lineups. I kind of like the over in that game actually a little bit more than trying to pick a side. Mckenzie has struggled against these White Sox, and you mentioned Lambert. He's just a fill-in spot for Giolito, and I think the Guardians can get to him. So I think that could be a good over spot in that game.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad angle.
You always got to look at lineups, though, in doubleheaders, right? You don't know who's going to play which of the two games, so that kind of makes it a touch tricky. The other game I'm eyeing here and around the bases is a NRFI in the Cubs and the Rays. We talked about this matchup on Monday. I wanted to give it out. I didn't end up giving it out. The NRFI hit that day. The NRFI did not hit yesterday, but that was with Justin Steele on the mound, who we talked about his control issues. He's not the greatest of all pitchers. So I think you're going to get a NRFI, though, in this game today at minus 102. Minus 102 is the best price. We've already backed Rossman in one of his starts and gotten a NRFI, so we've kind of talked about him. And Stroman will be on the mound there for the Cubs. Both of these guys are 2-0 on the season and cash in the NRFI. Going to go right back and back Rasmussen, I think it is. Maybe it's not. And again, I like this. We kind of talked about it on Monday. I'm not going to lay off it this time. I like it. So give me that NRFI and Rays and Cubs. No run the first inning at minus 102. What's another game for you today?
Yeah, name pronunciation is always so hard. There's there's Rasmussen, I think, and then there's a hockey player Rasmussen, but they're like completely spelled the same. You never know who's who anymore.
People have been following me long enough. They know I'm butchering names left and right.
I do my best to get them right. I try to look them up or listen or at least follow along with who I'm pronouncing if I can. But looking at Carlos Rodon caught my attention. The San Francisco Giants and going against Chris Bassett in the New York Mets. They had a doubleheader yesterday, didn't they? And I think we had agreed that Giants, if you took them both games, you probably weren't going to get swept. And I think they did, didn't they? They lost both.
Got swept, yep.
So I think today I would back them to not lose. Chris Bassett, not terrible. I think he came from Oakland, and if I remember right, he might have been the guy that got hit in the face last year, like broke a cheekbone or something, wasn't he?
That sounds right, yeah.
That was pretty crazy. I remember watching that game live, but I think Carlos Rodon right now is one of the top pitchers in the league, if I remember off the top of my head correctly, with statistics. I mean, just the dude's kind of been a monster. You give me the San Francisco Giants, the fact that they're not at home, but that whole lineup again for minus 120, not too bad. And I expect Rodon to kind of outperform Bassett, I think, here, even though the Mets have been doing well offensively, more particularly. But it's not an uneven match by any means. I think San Francisco, they dropped their 2 games yesterday, and I think they come back today strong with Rodon.
Yeah, the Giants don't feel like a get-swept kind of team. I like them there to go ahead and at least pull one out in this series. So, like that pick right there. Let's move over to Shut Up and Pitch. Let's give these guys some pitching props. I'll go ahead and kick it off here first. I'm looking at Jordan Lyles there of the Baltimore Orioles to have over 1.5 walks at plus 120. Look, in both of his starts so far this season, this bet would have already cashed in both of those starts as he had 2 walks and 3 walks. And though I think the Orioles could also use a little bit of length today. They only got 4.1 innings pitched out of yesterday's starters. And to go with that, they were in a 1-0 ball game. Then it kind of went 2-1. But so in needing a little bit of length out of today's starter, they also kind of burned their good relievers in their bullpen trying to secure that win, even though they were unsuccessful. So that could lend them to maybe giving this guy a little bit of a longer leash today. They don't have their greatest of all arms. But even if this guy is just a walk machine, in 2021, gave 56 free passes and 180 innings pitched. In 2020, it was 23 walks and 57 innings. Same thing in 2019, 58 innings pitched, 22 walks. Athletics are 12th on the season, 12th best in terms of drawing the walk versus right-handed pitching. Like this right here. And both Orioles starters cashed this bet in the first 2 games in this series. So the Athletics are showing some plate discipline earlier on in this series. So, yeah, Jordan Lyles over 1.5 walks at good plus money at plus 120 is a pitching prop that I'm eyeing. What about for you?
some plate what?
So what? Oh, discipline.
Some plate
Plate
what?
discipline.
Man. Did you notice, or at least where I was looking, I couldn't even find any props on Dalton Jeffries on the other side of that. Um, all I saw was Jordan Lyles. I don't know, man. The books like they know when a team is in like a bad spot, and when you try to take advantage of that, they're just like not letting you do it.
Yeah.
It's kind of,
These
but
props though
yeah.
have been a little bit tough for us in terms of the time of this show. Either we're not getting them, to your point, or you get them and they're just juicy. Like you like something, but it's like
Oh.
minus 180 for the guy to have over 5 strikeouts, which I have a cutoff of minus 150. Maybe other people have other cutoffs. If you don't, if your cutoff is better, okay, maybe you do dip into minus 180 on some of these strikeouts, but just too much for me.
Yeah, or again, I mean, even if you look at somebody, I think like it was Rodon, they have him up to like 8 strikeouts or something, 7.5, where you're like, really? I mean, and could the guy get there? Yeah, I guess, but that just seems like a stretch. I mean, that just seems like a lot to have to rely on 8 strikeouts, especially where you can, have something like yesterday happen where uh, Tyler Alexander or even Garrett Cole yesterday came out by the second inning. Some crazy like 40, 50 pitch inning. Um,
We were
and just
talking
was
about
not
that
going.
yesterday on Twitter. We were kind of going back and forth. You got to start fading Garrett Cole. You just got to start fading
Yeah,
him. I mean, maybe you don't take
absolutely.
the team that he's playing against to get the win because the Yankees always have the bats and they can always have a nice day. But get behind fading Garrett Cole. Whether you take an under on a strikeouts, an over on a walks. I mean, 5 walks yesterday. God, woof.
Oh, he couldn't find the strike zone. He was in the dirt. I think a thing to watch though is now without the sticky stuff, and this is for all pitchers, not just him particularly, but I think you need to watch those cold weather games as well. He looked cold. He kept blowing into his hand a lot, and it was like the dude could not get it going. He looked kind of rattled. So, um, I think that's really affecting the control as well of these pitchers. So, hopping into um, some of my um, pitching props anyway. I was looking at Vladimir Gutierrez of the Reds, and I'm either looking for places where perhaps teams are being kind of disrespected by the books in a way where we know the Reds and their bullpen has not been good. That I think has been, without argument, the downfall of the Reds so far. I mean, their bats haven't been getting it going either, but I mean, they have them all the way down at 3.5 strikeouts against the Padres. And, I just feel like that would be something they could do. Vlad Gutierrez, I think, is one of the guys that on this roster is somebody a little bit more trustable. And I don't know particularly if it's been the relieving bullpen that's been so bad with high ERAs or whatnot, but 3.5 would feel just a little bit low to me with not a ton of juice. I think it was around minus 120 or minus 130 for that.
Okay, I think that one has certainly some good opportunity to go ahead and cash. Let's give these guys some long shots, some plus money underdogs that we think can go ahead and pull off an upset on today's board. I'm going to go ahead and look at these Cardinals. I know they're going up against the Marlins there with Alcantara, but the fact is, if Alcantara's not on his game, I think you get a nice, easy win. I know the Marlins, are going up against Mykolas, and maybe they can attack him, but that Cardinals offense is really, really impressive. I mean, statistically, top 5 kind of across the board if you start looking up the stats. So, I think it's worth the stab if you want to go ahead and take that. If Alcantara is on his game, okay, you're in a little bit of a trouble. But he faced these Cardinals twice in 2021. He had a stellar outing, and then he had an outing where, it was kind of a ho-hum, barely got there with 3 runs over the course of 6 innings. So, he's off his game. I think you cruise to a nice, easy underdog cash there in the Cardinals. And then the other one, I already said it. We're against you, or I'm against you in this one. I do like that White Sox in games 2 against the Mckenzie if you get the good lineup. I'd kind of wait and see what lineups you get. What's an underdog that you're eyeing today?
I'm sitting here wondering why the Houston Astros are at plus money once again. It's Shohei Ohtani, but they're on the road. And I don't know if you've heard fade Shohei Ohtani on the road. Is that a thing that's kind of been going around that you've been hearing as well?
Oh, it's a thing on Twitter. I mean, it really took legs again once his last road start for sure.
Yeah. So you're getting Houston Astros plus 110 with Jake Odorizzi on the mound. Again, somebody I'm quite familiar with. Not a bad pitcher by any means. And again, if you can get around Ohtani and the bats, and Mike Trout. Um, again at home they won one, they lost one right last night. I think it was like 7-2 or something like that.
They lost one, yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, I'll hop on the bandwagon there and do the fade Ohtani train and take plus money again at a home Houston Astros team. I just think that's potentially could be a steal as well as not only a long shot. But
I think that's a great pick. And look, the best value, you can get that at plus 120 over at BetUS. Other books have it at plus 105, plus 108. BetUS has it at plus 120, so go take their money. I think that's a nice little angle you got right there with fading Ohtani on the road. I wonder what that line opened up at, because I got a feeling just dumb public, so to speak, will just gravitate towards Ohtani or in a back Ohtani. I wonder if you wait more closer to first pitch, you can get a little bit more, bigger of an odds there. Once the dumb money comes in on, just backing Ohtani.
The dumb money.
That's what it is. Just people, they're not looking at stats. They're just throwing dumb money. I'm going to throw one more underdog out there, and it's minus 102. So it's not quite plus money, but those Rockies are getting it done again. They're now 6-1 as underdogs. This one's not quite plus money. It's almost, but these Rockies are 6-1 and sticking it to the Phillies time and time again. Boy, maybe you'll think about backing those Rockies
team
today.
Again too.
I think they're just incredible.
No, I mean, but last year they were one of those teams where it was just almost an automatic play at home. Like it didn't even matter who the hell they were playing, just at home, pick the Rockies. It was I mean, there's got to be something to that altitude or the fact that they're at home. I don't know exactly what it is, but hey.
Everybody else comes in there, they're trying to just catch their breath. That thin air. I don't know what it is. It's something. All right, some guys are going to do some damage today with the bat in their hand. I've got a couple here that are going to do some damage with the bat in hand. Francisco Lindor, he should have a nice little day here against Carlos Rondon. He's 10 for 32 in his career, 5 singles, 3 doubles, 2 home runs. So obviously getting a lot of damage there, batting over 300 right there. Mookie Betts against Charlie Morton. Boy, he should get some damage done. Obviously, LA Dodger player, 10 for 31, 7 singles, 2 doubles, 1 home run. Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper. Boy, up against that Rocky starter Marquez, they should rock him. One's batting .417, the other's batting .385 against Marquez. And in that same game, you can also look at Chris Bryant against Zach Eflin. He's 8 for 13 in his career off of him. So there's a couple guys I think can do some damage today with the stick. What about you?
I didn't come across too terribly much, but I think one thing that would be kind of interesting to look into is going against Eduardo Rodriguez of the Detroit Tigers. So taking a Yankees player to absolutely bomb one. Looks like Gleyber Torres and Joey Gallo have both launched 3 home runs, 2 or 3 home runs each. Joey Gallo's only seen him 8 times, and he's hit 2 home runs and 8 at-bats on him. 3 hits beyond that. I think you could line up some of those Yankee players to rack up some hits or runs at least against Eduardo Rodriguez. Don't have specific juice or anything, but just something to kind of key in on, take a look at.
Okay, I thought Gleyber Torres was injured, but I do like the Joey Gallo one there. But I think Torres is injured, if I recall, because they had to bring him. Because that's why they traded for that shortstop for the Rangers. He's like just a good defensive guy. He doesn't bring much of a bat, but he's a good guy.
Okay. Either way, though, I mean, the Yankees are just full of power hitters in general, right? LeMahieu and Stanton and Aaron Judge. I mean, I think you can just about take any of them for point being is Rodriguez looks like he gives up a decent amount of home runs on, to the power hitters. So.
And a pitcher that the Yankees will be familiar with because he comes over from Boston. So I like that angle as well that you're kind of hunting on right there. All right, 6th inning, that's a steal. We got to give these people a bet on the board. That is an absolute steal. I've got one. And when this bet doesn't cash, just go ahead and blame me. There's always that guy out there on social media that wants to take the blame. We mentioned on Monday's show, there's only one team that's cashed the under in every single game. Okay, they do have one push, but outside of that push, it's cashed that under. You guys remember it's the Orioles. Well, they cashed the under on Monday. They cashed the under on Tuesday. Under 8 is at even money. Okay, if a bet is cashed every single game this season outside of one where you got to push, you didn't even lose your money, and you're giving me under 8 runs at plus money, I'm jumping on the wagon right now. So when this doesn't, we'll find out if I've got good luck or bad luck on my side today. So Orioles Athletics under 8, even money, got to do it.
So I mean, I guess as much as I don't like to repeat myself, I would grab that BetUS plus 120 on the Houston Astros. You said go ahead and fade Shohei Ohtani. I think that's an absolute steal to be getting the Astros and at home for plus money. It just seems wrong.
Does I mean with his home and road splits are absolutely just there's just the gap is really mind up. Right, let's get into seventh inning. We got to give these people our best bet on the board. Mine's kind of a little touch of a caveat because I really want to see that White Sox and Guardians lineup there in game two because I think that's going to be an easy over with Lambert and Mckenzie on the mound. Not knowing that lineup, I'll give you guys another one. How about Twins and Royals over 9 runs? The best price is at minus 106 over at BetUS. The Royals are now batting 20th against right-handed pitching. Talked about it last week. They were in kind of the low 20s. They've moved it up to 20th. Same thing with the Twins against left-handed pitching. They're now batting 22nd against left-handed pitching. So both of these offenses are coming around. Bullpens are absolutely atrocious. Both of these bullpens, start looking up stats, bottom 5, bottom 10, even worse in some categories. Twins are worse in whip. Twins are worse in whip, worse in on opponent's batting average, third to worst in home runs per 9 allowed. I mean, these bullpens are absolutely atrocious. So you guys know how I generally feel. You start getting into kind of the last game of a series. These bullpen arms have been shown now through multiple games. I like the over in Twins and Royals over 9 runs at minus 106. What's going to be your best bet on the board today?
Yeah, that's not something I had looked at, but something I definitely like now that I see. I mean, I'm even looking at Chris Paddock and Daniel Lynch's ERAs here to start off, and they are sky high.
Yeah, I didn't even touch on the starters. I had that written down here and didn't even thank you for mentioning those starters. Yeah, Paddock and Lynch. Ugh, terrible.
Yeah. I think I'll go again back to the top of the board where I really like the San Francisco Giants and that narrative after getting swept yesterday on a back-to-back game. Carlos Rodon, absolute monster, and minus 120 again seems a little bit low. Not sure, if it's just because, well, I mean, you have the Mets, I mean, the New York team, but Giants could potentially be a little bit public-y too. You know what I mean? I think it seems 50-50, but I just think you have a little bit more going for the Giants than the Mets do after winning back-to-back yesterday.
All right, let's go Giants. Let's get a cash there for all the people. Let's give everybody, or let's kind of alert people to anything going on out there promotion-wise with these sports books. The only thing I saw was DraftKings has a live 20% profit boost. So you'd be crazy not to go ahead and use that. If you're thinking money line, you're thinking over under, just wait for first pitch. Even if the price goes up just a little bit, you can obviously bring the price back down to 20% profit boost. So outside of that, I didn't see anything. So let's just move to the closer. And then, of course, we'll do rapid fire at the end, which everybody seems to be a big fan of. Let's go ahead and give the bets. I'm going to run through mine first. My bets are, whoa, that was not the right thing to hit. Let's get up here. Here we go. Here are my bets. Brewers team total over 4.5 runs at minus 104. Orioles Athletics under 8 runs at even money. White Sox and Guardians, NRFI. Let's see if we can't get that game in. We've made this bet now 3 days in a row. Today's the day we're going to get it played.
Yeah,
we're going to cash it at minus 120. Also take that NRFI and Rays and Cubs at minus 102. Jordan Lyles over 1.5 walks at plus 120. And then those batters I mentioned, well, we're going to go ahead and drop a couple of them in a parlay. Do Lindor and Betts. Obviously, you have the Mets and Dodgers there. They're each going to get 1+ hit at plus 144. And then I did a same game parlay in that Phillies versus Rockies game. I like Harper, Schwarber, and Bryant to all at least get 1 hit at plus 123. And I will be using that live profit boost. I put it here in the screenshot in Twins versus Royals, but look for me on Twitter. Again, I think that White Sox Guardians second game will also go over. So by the time that game is about to start, we'll know the lineups for Twins, Royals. We'll know the lineups for White Sox Guardians. I'll be using that profit boost on one of those 2 games on the over. And then you can see your 3 bets right there. You got a couple money line bets?
Yeah, yep. I'm a big money line player, as you know, so I will back. And the Guardians, that money line is game 2 with Tristan McKenzie. That's not the first game with Shane Bieber, but the money line would be minus 140 at that point anyway. So
game 2, okay.
Yep. And then Giants money line there. Obviously, we just talked about best bet with Carlos Rodon. And then the Astros there, and we can even make that plus 120 if you got it out BetUS.
I got fat fingers on the keyboard. It should have been 120. I got big old fatties. All right, let's do the rundown. I actually love this part of the show. Let's hit this
I do too.
rundown. We're going to talk all the
Probably my
games. We're going
favorite
to talk
thing.
money lines and totals. That's all we're going to do. We'll either give you a money line or we'll give you a total pick. Let's kick it off here with the first game on today's board is Pirates versus Brewers. You got an over-under of 8. Pirates at, let's see, plus 195. Brewers at minus 240. Fade Mitch Keller. I'll take that Brewers run line at minus 115.
We're only doing money lines or totals. Here's a run line.
Oh, it's okay, sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm on the Brewers run line there, or I would be, at least if I had to play it. Not that I am, but.
All right, game one here, this doubleheader between the White Sox and Guardians, over under at 7.5. White Sox are the dogs at plus 145. Probably a nice under game. I think under 7.5. Bieber can keep this under almost all by himself.
For the third day in a row, under 7.5.
We have said that, right? It's weird. This NRFI has been different. Every day I've given that NRFI price out, it's been different. I understand line movement and dollars move things, but it's just kind of weird. All right. Braves and Dodgers, over under 8.5. Braves are slight underdogs at plus 110. Dodgers are at minus 130. I'm telling you right now, this could be over, and I always wanted to pull this up. I think this game is going to go over. It's Gonsolin on the mound there for the Dodgers. He's been absolutely rocked. But here's some of the bats going against Charlie Morton. Betts is hitting 323. Freeman's hitting 500. Justin Turner's hitting 316. Mac Muncy's hitting 400. Bellinger's not terrible at 250. I mean, you got guys in this Dodgers lineup who is just hitting Charlie Morton. So I like under 8.5 runs. What about for you?
Boy. Kind of like the Dodgers with the offense. Now you're listing all these all these good batting stats for them, right?
That's good for you. Like the Dodgers.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Dodgers minus 130. Phillies and Rockies. Let's see. We got an over-under of 11. That juice is about even. It seems like it's gotten to be about minus 110 now on both sides.
Just take the Rockies, dude.
I would take the Rockies. I would. I'm with you right there. Take those Rockies. Reds and Padres. Boy, it's hard to back these Reds. They're now 2-9 on the season, or 2-8. I have to go look at my spreadsheet. I'm tracking them all here. 2-8, 2-9 on the season as dogs. Just getting killed.
Yeah, 2-10 overall.
2-10. Yeah. Over under at 8. I don't even know this Mckenzie Gore guy. He must be a rookie.
I don't either. Not even going to lie. I'm going to go ahead and take the Reds at the plus 170 price.
All right. Reds at plus 170. That's what we'll do right there. Orioles and Athletics are up next. Over under of 8. Orioles slight dogs at plus 105. The Athletics come in at minus 125. Take that under, folks. Take that under. Okay. What is that? What you're on? Under? Are you just right? No comment. The under is just so good. Just gonna ride the under.
Baltimore's been striking out so much. They're not even at home or anything. I don't think Jeffries has been real bad, and we know Oakland's been actually putting up runs. So I don't think. I think I just saw minus 125. It just went to 130, but I'm sure there's some book out there that's still a little lower than 130.
All right, so Athletics money line for you. Game 2 between these White Sox Guardians. I've talked about that enough. I'm on the over. Or hopefully going to be on the over if I get good lineups.
Game two Guardians for me.
And you're on Guardians. Yankees Tigers. Luis Severino versus Rodriguez. You've mentioned him. Over under a 7.5. Yankees minus 160. Tigers at plus 140. That's a tough one.
What do you think about an over 7.5 here with the big bats of the Yankees? I mean, I don't know why I just feel home runs in this game. Cabrera can do it. I don't know. For some reason, I just would gravitate to an over. I don't know exactly why, but
I'll go ahead and take that over with you of 7.5 runs. Think it'll go ahead and get there. Last game of the series. Kind of like that right there. All right, Angels and Astros. You've talked about that. Astros, I'm kind of with you. I'll jump on those Astros. I'll fade Ohtani. I'd wait, though. I think that price will get better. Cardinals and Marlins are up next. Over under of 7.5. You got Cardinals at plus 120. Marlins at minus 140. I mean, if you're going to back the Marlins, this is the guy to back, obviously, Alcantara. I just can't back that Marlins offense. Give me that over 7.5 because if Alcantara is off his game, you'll get an easy over 7.5 cash because this starter, Michaelis here for the Cardinals, he's not all that great. There's a reason he's pushed down that depth chart. He came up good as a rookie. Is he tailed off? I think over 7.5 may be the right play there.
Yeah, I was looking at this game in terms of money distribution prior to the show, and it's actually not on the Marlins. It is quite heavily on the Cardinals.
Oh, really?
As the underdog there. Yeah, so If you're looking for a side, yeah, I don't want to go against Alcantara, and but just for extra information, if that's what you're looking for and you like the Cardinals, you want to back them, just know that the money is there. Um, I
Yeah, I
guess
love that
I would
information that
follow.
you bring to this show. You bring that kind of great knowledge there, and it's nice to know that maybe the money's coming in on my underdog pick of the Cardinals. I think that's a good one there. Diamondbacks and Nationals are up next with an over under of 8. Diamondbacks plus 110. Nationals are at minus 130. Boy, you've seen this game or this series play out. It's been terrible. Diamondbacks just are not hitting. Holy cow! 1 run I think in the game
No,
one, 0 in game two. I would lean the over with these pitchers, but these offenses maybe think the under can come in.
absolutely. I thought yesterday was going to be the over in that matchup, and I think it was like the 8th inning. I tuned in. It was like 1-0. I'm like,
Yeah,
how do you go 8 innings? Like, I don't know. I do remember Eric Fetty though. Nationals are at home minus 130. I think if you're going to look for a side, probably lean that for at least the bats that you do have in that lineup is Juan Soto and whatnot. But again, one of those teams. Why are they not getting it done?
I
Like the
don't.
Reds or
I tell you what, maybe that is the right angle instead of an over under. Just take the Nationals. I mean, this Arizona Diamondbacks is the worst offense. They're only batting 162 against right-handed pitching, and that is dead last in the major leagues. They're getting nothing
right,
out of this offense earlier on. So, okay,
right.
you convinced me. I'd rather jump on the Nationals money line than
Okay.
mess around with an over under. We got Blue Jays Red Sox up next. Over under of 9. Red Sox are even money. Blue Jays are at minus 120. You got Barrios on the
Why?
mound versus Pavetta.
Weird.
Pavetta.
I
Yeah.
find it weird yesterday that they were plus 120 and now they're minus 120 when I don't know if I like this as much. I know Jose Brios is good. I don't know.
Yeah,
In
I have a
terms
tough
of a
one with that
side,
one.
I might just take the Red Sox again at home. I don't know. I mean, I was on the Blue Jays yesterday. I gave it out to my customers and stuff, but didn't come in. And I don't know. I think that's a tough one, like you said.
I think that is. I think picking a side, picking an over under, I would lean Blue Jays, lean over. Is how I would lean in that one. Giants and Mets, you've talked about that. I'd go ahead and jump on that Giants money line with you there. Let's move it over to Twins Royals. I've talked about that. Oh, it's now, what did I put on my sheet here? Over. It's gone up. It's now not 8.5. It's now 9. Yeah, people are on this over with me. I should maybe just go ahead and grab that now before like it's a
Yeah,
9.5. Yeah.
I wasn't looking at it until you said it, and then I started. So I was like, yeah, I agree with
I'm
that one. I
gonna
really like that one. So
I'm gonna look here and see if I can still snag an 8.5. Let's talk about this next game: Rays and Cubs. Over under of 9. Nobody's a dog at minus 105 and minus 115. Stroman versus Rossman. Take that under, folks, all day long. Give me that under.
yeah, so Rays won yesterday. I really never minded Marcus Stroman. I think there's some people out there that really don't like him. I don't know, or perhaps it was you that was telling me you didn't really care for his stuff. Um,
I care for it in the
but I
first.
think
I care for it in the first inning today.
the
Then he can fall
um,
apart for all I care.
I think the Cubs have been a little bit pesky. I think that they've been a little surprising, at least for what I thought they were going to be. And today I would turn around and back them, unlike yesterday at home.
Okay. All right. And the last game today is going to be the Rangers and Mariners over under of 8 plus 135 to the Rangers, minus 155 to the Mariners. Just don't mess around. Take the over in that game.
I'd say don't mess around. Take Logan Gilbert.
Take Logan Gilbert.
But yeah, I would just. I mean, it's juice that I don't particularly want to pay, but it is the Mariners at home with Logan Gilbert. I don't think Dane Dunning's a bad pitcher. I mean, I think isn't he one of their better
Mm-hmm. Hey,
Dane
yeah. I
Dunning
mean,
on the Rangers
there's a reason why the White Sox sent him on his way. He's so hit or miss with the control.
for sure. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to pay minus 155, but if I was going to play the game from a side perspective, I think that's what I would do.
Okay. All right. Outstanding right there. So there we have it. Those are going to be our bets for today. Again, make sure you're following both of us on Twitter in general, but make sure you're following me a little bit later on this afternoon. I will be using that live 20% profit boost. May pull the trigger here on Twins Royals beforehand, and then maybe use that live profit boost on that Guardians White Sox there in game 2. All right, guys. It was fun hanging out with you guys today. It looks like I don't know if I got S talked in the comments about being a United fan. He didn't say it again, but
Oh,
I'm not sure what's going on there with that comment,
I
but
thought it was funny.
I'm going to go ahead and jump off here before he talks smack against United, because whatever he says about them is going to be all true. They are absolutely terrible. Let's enjoy our baseball action today, folks. Let's set ourselves up for a nice Wednesday. Tail these bets, put some money in your pocket, and we'll see you back here on Thursday's show. Have a good one, everybody.
See you later.